Hi guys, it's 5:45 in the morning and we are going to work. I'm going to go and get Shay. See you in a minute. Hi guys, so yeah, we're just waiting for Shay to come out, picking up Shay now outside his house. So yeah, there's a couple of comments on yesterday's video, the Finch Job 4.5. Do you know what? I'm not worried about this job. I only some couple of comments saying, "Oh, I don't look like you're too happy there." It doesn't matter if you're happy or not, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been saying this all year that, you know, I've been picking off the cream jobs for the last 3 or 4 years, and they've been plentiful. But this year it's gone, and it's not just me, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of my, you know, contacts, the small guys that are doing kitchen fittings, bathroom fittings. They've seemed to all moved on to working for larger firms. They've gone to Wix or something like that. They're getting their work elsewhere, and the work has slowly dried up in that aspect. So I've had to diversify and put myself out there and get on some larger projects, on some larger firms, because it's the climate seems to be changing out there. And do you know what? I'm quite happy to do so, to be honest with you. It's not too bad. I mean, I've known Jasper a long time. He's 60 and I'm 50. He took me plastering when I was 13. I first met him when I was 13, and I was cutting grass for everybody around the local streets. We lived in a place where I had a large garden, and I was like a little Forrest Gump, going around cutting people's grass for money, all summer holiday and stuff. And that's where I met Jasper, and he took me in plastering. So he's the guy that is the reason that I am actually a plasterer. Now, Jasper comes from, his father was a plasterer, and I actually laboured for him as well. I remember his dad, and his granddad was a plasterer. And Jasper is, we've had our ups and downs in our working career. Like he taught me, he can be very, like I say, I keep saying, a Gordon Ramsay type character. He's highly stressed all the time, mainly because he's just working. He's always worked like a dog. He really has. And, you know, some people haven't got that same sort of motivation. I know I didn't. When I was a younger man, I was more interested in partying and stuff. And I had a family at one point where I had, you know, 4 children, all under the age of 10. And that's why I kind of got out of the fast lane as far as building, contracting and plastering is concerned. Because you just had no family life. You never stopped working, whereas Jasper has always worked. When I was a contractor and having to do all my own paperwork, sort out, you know, the jobs are going into tens of thousands, and it's scary. You're in there for, you know, you've supplied something. It's a scary place to be. You know, when you're into somebody for so much money, you know, you might owe £5,000 worth of wages. You've bought £5,000 worth of materials and stuff. So I know what it's like there. And like I said, when I had 4 kids and stuff, I had to get out of that because I had no time for any family or any fun, basically. Just highly stressed. And Jasper's always stayed there, so I've always got time for him. And to be honest with you, no, I'm not unhappy about being on this job. I'm quite enjoying the fact that I can just get my head down, be told what to do, and I can just let my head just disappear. I'm not worried about anything. I know, just make sure I'm covering my wages, get this done, get that done. Jasper, what do you want us to do next? And when I go home, I've got no worries at all. I'm not thinking about the job. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, to a certain degree, you know. So although I'm not organising my own jobs and I am not the boss of my own actions anymore, it's actually quite relieving at the same time. It's not that much of an issue. It's certainly a change for us at the moment, and maybe it might get a little bit grating, but I keep doing it. I think just maybe yesterday might have been, I didn't look too happy because all I was doing was tacking in that little room all day and it was getting a bit much. Anyway, so Shay's here now. We are going to go and meet Jasper on the job and surprise him by being a little bit earlier after we've gone to the garage and got some coffee. You alright?
Yeah.
Okay. I made some, well, I didn't make some pasta, I bought some pasta in. 2 pots of it out. Right. So here we are back on the Finch job. This time it will be episode 5. Turns out Jasper's had to go to Oxford this morning, so he might be in later, and the other 2 lads have both got the day off today. So we've been given our instruction as to get this all plastered today. So it's what we was tacking yesterday, and the joists were all over the place. It was really tricky to tack. Like the joists were all staggered and going in different directions, nothing square. There's new. I wasn't here when the job was first done, but you know, this is it's not a new build. It's an old building that's been done up quite extensively. So this is like a walk-in sort of wardrobe area. So I'm assuming, you know, when it's done, there'll be wardrobes this side, and then walking through here will be the ensuite. So yeah, it's just setting today, doing some regular plastering. So yeah, we better get this all prepped up. Cut all this foam back where there's been different joints that have been awkward to get. Get scrimmed up, get beaded up, and get plastering. So let's crack on with that, shall we? I need to get some water up here. I need to find out where the materials are. Yeah, let's get to it. So just having a little look at this little area up here, see, it was stopped short. And this was kind of done on purpose because there's a load of heating pipes that go up at an angle all the way through here. That's why there's no fixings across this bit. I was able to get some at the top, but this is where they disappear. So that's why this was stopped short, this board, so that we could get a load of foam behind there and hold this. There's the only last fixing we could get there. So with the foam, like, you need to kind of cut it back, and I've double scrimmed over the top of it. The foam's good, but you need a good body of plaster over the top of it, otherwise there is a possibility, you know, it can push in. I mean, but the likelihood of somebody pushing it's right at the top of the wall up there, so I wouldn't have thought it'll upset anybody. And another thing that's kind of quite underestimated is the quality of your scrimming. You really need to, you know, make sure it's nice and tidy and get right into cracks and into the corners. Really push it in. And make sure you cover any little holes that get right into corners and stuff. There's nothing worse than coming to the end of the wall, and then you get your little inch brush and you brush it in there, and there's a little hole that you've missed the whole way through because it hasn't been scrimmed properly, and you put your little brush in and a little bit disappears into the depths of the gap of the plasterboard. So yeah, it's well worth getting your scrim up really nice and tidy without any loose ends and tucked right into the corners. So let's have a look at these. These are quite new things. Go over the sockets and stuff. They push in, and I assume when that's all plastered in, then this plate in the middle gets popped out, and then you got a lovely crisp edge all the way around your socket. Builder supplied them, he's asked us to put those in. You can staple them, but there's not much of a bead here. So the electric stapler was pushing the staples in enough, but it was kind of cracking these, so it's up to you. I might try and get some scrim around the edge of these, see how that works, but you have to be careful not to come over. So yeah, it's just one of those. They're a bit new, take a little bit of getting used to. There we go, look, there's things like that I'm talking about. Make sure you get right into the corners. So I've got to do this one for next, but you know, it's really easy just to leave a little hole there. And then at the end of the day, a bit of plaster will disappear into it. Same as up here, look at that. So if you recall from the previous episodes, we are using 15mm board, which is quite a bit thicker than 12.5mm board. in the depth of it, 15 mil. So where the timbers didn't fit properly and that, look, this has been foamed and it's sticking out a lot. So this is really going to need scrimming up. This dry edge plaster, it's really going to suck the life out of the plaster. So we're going to get a bit of scrim over it first, then we're going to get the bead over the top, and that should regulate that. But yeah, it's quite a nasty joint up there, so it's well worth scrimming things like that up as well. Some people have trouble doing that. Basically, get your scrim up, get your trowel on there and pull it to. If you're at a bit of a funny angle, like here, you're not going to do it. You need to pull it back. It shouldn't peel.
Didn't see.
Take that off one more time. So look, it's not going to break there. You need to put it back over the blade and off it comes. Easy. I tell you what, this is such a small room in here. There's like literally no meterage at all, but the amount of prep needed, I mean, there's so many extra joints and stuff in here because of the way that the joist went and the angles, things like this. It's taking a lot longer. If it was a room 3 times the size, but it was just square and rectangle, then, you know, the prepping is hardly any time at all. But it's just so fiddly. It's really hard to price something like this on a meterage because it's just too much messing about. Quite a misty, damp morning this morning. And temperature's down as well. Okay, every now and again, you might need to trim a little bit of bead, and you'll have something like that left over. Okay, you need to get rid of those, they're quite dangerous. Quite often you might just chuck them on the floor and clear them up at the end. If you do chuck them on the floor, and then you kneel on that, you're not going to like it. So make sure you tread them down flat. Safety first. Okay, so it's probably just under 2 bags. Well, I think not quite 2 bags, the clay mixing a bit for room in there. But with the 20-inch carbon steel trowel, which is straight, not curved. We managed to get the ceiling on. This has all been flattened. This back wall, both sides. We've got these 45-degree angle cheeks all the way down to the bottom. Some people like to leave these and do have a hard internal. I like to have them live at the same time, but I like to be able to get that finally gamma come out straight, especially when you use trail. Managed to get that little bit in there. Down here, it's all flattened in. This crazy little recess that I haven't flattened in yet, I've just forgotten about it, and I'll start the video so you're going to see how it's got on. And with a little bit left over, I just dubbed out a couple of these awkward areas that are a little bit wayward and around these socket beads. There's one down there as well. It's difficult to see, I know it's there, but I kind of need to dub them out a little bit. So it's all under control. I think I might be able to push on and get the rest of these walls on there, the whole rim on. Tackling this little room by himself, done pretty well. So yeah, that is what we've done. Prepped to finish off a little bit of the board work. We had to get beads on out here. I need to clean this one off at the back up here. I can't reach it for now, and that's, I'm not standing on that, I'll just trailed that up. So I'll have to go outside and get that. These are those little socket covers that, so they're alright, but they can be quite difficult if you're not careful to actually lose the sockets. So yeah, remember where they are and push them in. So there's another one on this side as well. Out here yesterday is what Dan and Matt got on between the two of them. So yeah, a bit more meterage in here. So that's probably about it for us today. We're just seeing off the last few little bits and pieces. Tomorrow we're in and tidying up because we've hit the quota, we've caught up with the builder. Everything's pretty much done. So yeah, it's just Shay and I in here tomorrow, just finishing off a couple of bits and pieces, cleaning up, getting our tools out. So in comparison, easy day tomorrow. Right, you guys have a lovely evening, and I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy.